Okay, back again, part two. I ran out of film last time. I always do that. Now, so this is a 1 year anniversary of myself being the Grotty Poet, being on YouTube. Terrific, fantastic. I haven't had any struggle with it at all. I've had no struggle at all. Thank you to everyone who's been watching my videos. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Very important to say that. Thank you for watching my videos. There is more to come. Things go along with the YouTube algorithm, but getting myself in good order to do that. And something else that I was going to mention, I remembered to mention something. Mainly that, I heard a noise then. Oh no, it's good. Heard a noise. There's construction going on around here, I was like, what's that noise? Sub to sub. So, sub to sub. So, someone, you sub to a channel and they're subbing back to the sub to sub. So, subbing to a channel, they've got no intention of watching that content, but you sub to it anyway, and you sub to those, and they sub to that, and they sub to that. And so you've got 100,000 people who are subbing to each other, got absolutely no interest in, no intention of ever watching their videos. And so, 200,000 subs, 2 views. Thank you for watching. That's very good that you've been watching. It's very good. And I started touching on Christianity before, my journey in Christianity, religion, and that well, this is for an entirely different video. However, late last year, and I'm actually going to make an entirely separate video about this, but I'll just touch on it very briefly now anyway. Last year I found that I was holding on to the last threads that I had left of Christianity. And last threads that were hanging over me, I had a one-dimensional view of it, and perfectly happy with my own spirit. I've always been perfectly happy with my own spirituality the way I am, and yet a few times in the past that I have delved into Christianity, even being born again Christian, whatever that means. What does that mean exactly? Never agreed with me. I didn't do very well with it. Never agreed with me. In fact, maybe a bit sick. And over the last 2 years, I've been doing my own thing in regard to spirituality, my very own thing. And then late last year, heading toward Christmas, I was like, still holding on to this particular belief. Anyway, so I started to question that, and clink by clink by clink in the chain, who is Jesus? Who was he really? Led me onto a few books such as Barbara Thiering, Jesus the Man, Jesus the Apocalypse, which I skimmed through that a bit more, which I'd previously read 20 years ago, and I didn't find any of it confronting. In fact, I was very enlightened by it. I felt very liberated by that and all. And I read a few more books, and I've been doing a great deal. I've started doing research about the 1st century AD. I've been doing that for the last 6 months. And what I've started to learn is very enlightening. Anyway, I just want to touch on that to clarify that sort of thing. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And another thing to clarify too, which I wasn't completely clear about. The Sony camera that I'm using is not there's a Sony camera which is competition with the Canon M50X. I think it's a Canon 50. That's not the one I'm talking about. I'm using a 20 megapixel Sony camera, which I bought for about $50 from Kmart 5 years ago now. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about the new Sony, I'm talking about the old Sony, and I'm doing perfectly well with this. And at some point I might go on to a Canon M50. I probably will invest in one at some point. I'm getting by perfectly fine with this actually at the moment. I'm perfectly fine with it. And it's 4 extra megapixels, the Canon. The Canon, and I actually will get a Canon eventually. I'm not in a rush to go out and get one. I initially was, and looked at the price. I would have to save up for it, but I'm very, very happy with the Sony. In fact, I see myself staying with this particular camera for a long time. It served me very well. I have no problems with it. Never had an issue with it. I suppose if some people want 4K sparkling or whatever it is, and that's fine, it's your prerogative to have that, and that can serve you quite well in particular situations, and you shooting particular things, depending on your subject. This Sony camera, no problem with it at all. It's really good for me, and for what I'm doing. I'd even shoot a short film with this, actually. I would. And so there are a couple of things that I came back to. Elaborate on a little bit. But great journey, really good journey. I had a couple of different names for. I had another name for a YouTube channel, and I just decided to go with Grotty Poet. Not even mine. I didn't think of it. Someone else did. Can't take credit for it. What was I going to say? It's just good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Some people struggle. I haven't at all. None. No struggles. I'm sure that I was thinking about something else. I covered all that. And, how did it ever get to you must have millions of subscribers? That's ridiculous. Well, it's the psychology and mentality that certain YouTubers doing these days. Yeah, everybody gets it in their heads that they need to get 1 million subscribers. Wouldn't you be grateful for 100? Or, 200? It's 200 people. 200 people hitting your channel. 200 people. So if you're in a room full of people, you're in a room with, say you're in a room with 50 other people. All those people interested in your channel, that's 50 people. Personally, I just like to be, if I was in a room with people who love my YouTube channel, they 20 people in the room, you'd be able to talk to them, be able to have a converse with them. 20 people would like your channel, 50 people. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. started off with Windows Movie Maker, and it's okay. It's okay for 6 to 10 minute things, but if you're doing something that ends up going for an hour, it freezes up every 5 minutes, or every 4 to 5 minutes, it freezes up. And I've actually even had a couple of times where I hadn't saved anything, froze up, the whole computer froze up, and then I just lost I lost 12 hours of work, and I got a bit cracky about that. That happened in late December last year. Before I put up the brand montage, I lost 12 hours of work, and so within the space of 20 minutes after that happening and getting a bit grisly about it, I just got straight back into it, tried to remember the steps I took. Fortunately, I did remember, and it actually turned out better, so I was able to remember that 12 hours of work that I'd been working with. Windows Movie Maker is not a good program. It is great for a beginner, and I've learned. It took me about a day or two to learn it when I started to, and it's been very useful to me for the first videos that I did intended for YouTube. Windows Movie Maker is a terrible program. Start on it. I don't know if you can start on it, use it for a month, but it freezes up every 5 minutes. What I'm using, NCH software now, NCH Video Editor. NCH, that's what I'm using now. It's fantastic, it's terrific. And problem after the free trial, you pay for it, which I'm probably going to pay for it because I really like it, and it's a very good program. And I can't convert anything to MP4 until I pay for the script, but I'm just gonna buy it online. It's fantastic. It's the way you're meant to do things, and eventually that I can get onto perhaps DaVinci. What is it? I can't think of it now. But something DaVinci and Shotcut. Shotcut. Yeah, I don't got the Shotcut, but NCH Video Editor Suite. Very, very, very good program. Fantastic. I haven't had a single problem with it. Apart from that, you do have to pay for the program to be able to transfer over to MP4, but it's a great program. That's fine. Stay away from Windows Movie Maker. There's a Movie Maker on Windows 10. I haven't used it yet because I've been using NCH. I'm pretty sure if I'm getting all this wrong, it's not on, it was on there. It's actually right in front of me. Give me a sec. Let's just see if this actually is NCH Suites. I'll tell you. Pad Editor, Video Pad Editor, NCH thing it is. Oh, it is. Yeah, NCH Video Editor Suite. It's fantastic. Pretty much stay away from Windows Movie Maker. Will F up all your videos a little. You're getting along, and if you're doing something which is more than 10 minutes, you're going to be. It's terrible. It's just not great. If you're a very beginner, you get by on it. But I'm sure some people. I used it for 6 months, but we can talk about that for a little bit. But yeah. And NCH, I highly recommend it. And I tried Olive at one point. I didn't get very far with that. First time I tried NCH, didn't know what I was doing. I got very frustrated with it and thought I don't want to use this, and I went back to Windows Movie Maker. And then 5 months went by, and I went and gave it another shot, and with NCH. And this time it worked out better. Yeah, excellent video editor, NCH, fantastic. And the other thing is what you're meant to use when you DaVinci Resolve. That's what I was thinking about. DaVinci Resolve, very complicated though, apparently. But yeah, I recommend NCH. If you want to do things properly on a basic beginner level, NCH. Stay away from Windows Movie Maker. You'll lose all your. It'll frustrate you. It's not good.